Hi, this is Kelly Kingman. This is video 2 of my TAP project in Professor Leonard's environmental science class. The topic again is chaparrals and fire adaptation. We are going to begin with obligate cedars. They are one of the 5 basic strategies plants use to respond to fire in the chaparral, according to CCI. Obligate cedars are dependent on the chemicals found in wood-burn materials and or heat for them to germinate. Ceanothus and manzanitas are examples of plants in the chaparral ecosystem that need these conditions and are dependent on these fire cues in order to reproduce and continue the species. In this image, according to CCI, are adult perennial shrubs, like most manzanitas and about half of Ceanothus species, are killed by the flames and depend on seedlings to replace their populations. Next, in slide 11, are obligate resprouters. According to California Chaparral Institute, they depend on the resprouting from their underground root systems or burls to help create habitat after a fire. Manzanitas are both obligative resprouters and facultative seeders. I will explain facultative seeders further in the next slide. Obligate resprouters can regenerate from both a seed and they can sprout from dormant buds, also referred to as burls that grow on the plant. And in this figure 11 is toyon, which depend on resprouting from their underground root systems or burls to help create the new pyrogenic habitat after a fire. In slide 12, we have facultative seeders, which are plants whose seeds need exposure to the chemicals found in wood and smoke from fires in order to germinate. Manzanitas are an example of facultative seeders. And in this image, we have chamise, which is a facultative cedar. The species resprouts and its seeds are stimulated by the chemicals in wood and smoke to germinate. Next, on slide 13, we have fire followers. Fire followers or episodic chaparral are just what the name suggests. These are plants that show up as a result of the after effects of fire, which results in an explosive display of wildflowers after the flames, according to the CCI. These flowers are stimulated to germinate by the chemicals from charred wood or smoke. The California Chaparral Institute goes on to explain that some plants are particularly dependent on fire, showing up within a year or two of the fire events. In this image from CCI are examples of fire follower chaparral. They are California poppy and Perry's facilia. Here's another example given by the California Chaparral Institute that they refer to as endemic fire followers. These are called whispering bells. Finally, my last example of endemic fire followers are geophytes, which are bulb or tuber perennial plants that respond to fire in 2 ways. They are obligate resprouters that reproduce from sprouts coming from the plant after the fire, and they are stimulated to grow from the boost of abundant sunlight they receive due to the disappearance of overhead foliage due to fire. Finally, I hope that my presentation helped you to join me in appreciation of our beautiful chaparral habitat and our need to protect it. There's a lot of debate on how to manage fires while protecting our chaparral ecosystem. Some suggest controlled burns that destroy acres of natural habitat, while others suggest less invasive methods, such as using fire-resistant building materials, sprinkling systems, and landscapes that assist in fire protection. I believe it's essential that we protect our native chaparral ecosystems because they serve as a natural habitat for our native plants and animals. They assist in recharging our underground water, and they provide protection from water erosion that occurs when vegetation is destroyed by fire. And this concludes my presentation on chaparrals and fire adaptation. Thank you very much.